And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we're going to be having a look at the BBC and Sky News' political bias in regards to a programme they had yesterday on immigration. Now, you may be aware that we actually had a Labour member on who was an online activist and an anti-Tory campaigner, but didn't mention the fact that he was any of those things. We have a quick listen to what he said.
What would you say to the charge that the government makes that actually the system at the moment allows people, particularly young men, to be able to push ahead in the queue because they can take the risks that are necessary to be taken to get across the channel, and it puts at a disadvantage families who want to come here by legal means?
Okay, so let's start. I want to unpick this very carefully. Let's start with the vulnerable people from war zones.
France is not a war zone. At least it wasn't last time I checked.
Okay, so the government has stopped resettlement. Actually, the Tories have voted down an amendment in October last year, which would guarantee that child refugees would be granted asylum and reunited with their families after Brexit.
Which is why the Tories should not receive our votes again, just like Labour, in my honest opinion.
The government voted down that amendment. Now, why are men more than women are doing the journeys and coming here? Because men are, I'll tell you about Syria, for example, where...
They're not coming from Syria, they're coming from France, unless you're trying to say that they're actually dinghying all the way from Syria. Is that what you're trying to say?
Military service is mandatory. So it's
not worrying at all, is it, everyone, that they're all military trained?
More men are fleeing because they don't want to join the army and kill civilians.
Question for you, mate. If that was the case, why are they not stopping in the first country that's safe? I'll wait for an answer.
And also, the case is that men would do the journey because they don't want their wives or their children to do these perilous journeys, get here, and then apply for family unification. So that's why it is more men than women.
So let me get this straight. These places are so terrible they must flee, but they're going to leave the family behind there while they come here. I'll leave that one with you. Now the problem here is the BBC and Sky News have to announce political affiliation if that is what is the case. This is the case. He's actually a Labour Party member. And, are you ready for this? You may remember, do you remember back while we were fighting for Brexit and the projected footage on the White Cliffs of Dover? Let's have a quick remembrance of that, shall we?
Hello everyone. Apologies for taking over the cliff, but I have a few words that I would love to share with you.
I've got a few that I'd like to share with you.
My name is Hassan, and 5 years ago, I was on the other side of this channel trying to cross here. These cliffs were actually visible from our makeshift camp, and they represented hope. Hope that I would live a safe and a stable life here in Britain, having fled my war-torn country.
I say again, France is not war-torn.
Similar to those who are arriving recently, I had to put my trust in a people smuggler, because a safe and a legal option to seek asylum here was and still is unavailable. Crossing the sea on a rubber dinghy is terrifying and devastating.
So as you can see, he's been used by Labour and other organisations before. Now the organisation that put this up was Led by Donkeys. You may remember them. They were putting up tweet posters all over the country. They also pulled this stunt as well with crowd-funded Ramona tears. But it's not the first time that this man's been used for political activism, and the BBC know it and said nothing, and so did Sky and said nothing, which in my opinion excludes them from the right of calling themselves unbiased journalists. Am I wrong on that one? Let me know what you think, everyone. I'd like to know your opinion. I just thought I'd remind you that this man is a political activist and not just a Syrian refugee and filmmaker like they're making out. More proof that the BBC needs defunding completely. Obviously, the Tories aren't going to do it, and I can guarantee Labour wouldn't if they got in. So it's up to the people, and it seems to be that more and more people are actually paying attention and are cutting off the BBC at the knees, shall we say. As far as I'm aware as well, 730,000 over 75s have refused to pay the licence. Go on, oldies. Much respect to you. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one, everyone.